Hello, Wang Automotive here, and today we'll be talking another video about forgotten cars. Probably, the third or fourth video in this series now. But of course, today we'll be talking about some forgotten models of past Dodges. Cars you probably don't remember, or things that were just lost to time. So let's get right into it. Here at number 1 is the 1975 Dodge Charger. Now yes, I know, the Charger is probably one of the most famous Dodge models of all time, but that's almost exclusive for either new Chargers or the 1968 to 1970 run of cars. By that logic, we should also put the 66 to 67 cars in here too. But easily the most forgotten model is the 1975 Dodge Charger, the fourth generation as it goes by. Gone is the Hemi, the Coke bottle styling, or the in-the-air Dixie horn jumping car of the 1960s. And this last generation here ran from 1975 to 1978. And it was the last V8 powered Charger before its revival in 2005. Now these were emissions-choked 400 cubic inch motors and made a whopping 185 horsepower. Now, really, this car probably looks pretty similar to you, and that is caused by the Charger being a less optioned Chrysler Cordoba. Save the Corinthian leather for cloth and vinyl. While the Cordoba was a hit, the Charger became lost to time and solely reserved for Dodge dealership sales reps. Up next is the 1986 Dodge Omni GLH. Now this one's interesting and relatively unknown outside of tried and true Shelby enthusiasts. That's right, the Shelby name, so synonymous with Mustangs, is slapped on a little Dodge from the 80s. Now this copycat Volkswagen Golf is Chrysler's attempt at taking a bite out of the European hatchback pie. Now the Omni and its sister car, the Plymouth Horizon, were met with great success. But as far as hot hatches, the imports are still quite unmatched. In comes Carroll Shelby, back again with make girly cars manly despite having the girliest name ever. The Omni GLH featured a high output, 110 horsepower, 2.2 litre inline 4. Cinder blocks for springs, bigger brakes, bigger wheels, nice decals, all the kit and caboodle. You could get the GLH-T, which features the 2.2 litre with a turbo 146 horsepower output because of its big fat Garrett turbocharger. Now, what does GLH exactly mean? Well, according to Carroll, it means goes like hell, and that it did. With a 0 to 60 of 8.7 seconds, which doesn't seem like a lot, but compare it in the bog standard 60 horsepower Omni that does it in 17 seconds, it's an absolute rocket. Now, if you want to go like hell some more, you opt for the 86 Shelby GLH S. 175 horsepower, 175 pound-feet of torque, 6.5 seconds 0 to 60, and all that going to the front wheels thanks to a 5-speed box, courtesy of the Turbo 2 Chrysler 2.2 litre with some Shelby Go Fast goodies. Now this thing is faster than a Camaro with a 305. It's on par with 302 Fox bodies and will keep up with a C4 Corvette up to about second gear. And while we're at it, let's look at the rest of the L-body cars. Now we should actually talk about basically every one of them, like the absolute dinky little Rampage Ute or the forgotten for good reason Dodge Charger. Yes, 1981 to 1987 L-body Dodge Charger, a front-wheel drive hatchback with a Mitsubishi motor. This is the 5th generation Charger, technically, and probably the most forgotten for good reason. It's a painful memory in every Mopar fanboy that they attempt to suppress. Now, originally, you could get a 70 horsepower inline 4, but in 1983, Carroll Shelby got his hands dirty and threw 107 horsepower at the Charger. The Shelby Charger was met with moderate success, and for 1987, the Shelby GLHS was a reborn Charger with 175 horsepower under the hood, thanks to the same Turbo 2 2.2 litre inline 4 from the Omni-based 1986 GLHS. Next up, the Dodge Femme. Now let's wind the clocks back to 1955, where Dodge is the forgotten third wheel in the whole Ford versus Chevy debate. Well, if you pick yourself out to be a Dodge Custom Royale buyer, but you want it to be pretty in pink, well, now you can. During the 50s, women were more interested in buying cars than ever before. So to cater to this new and upcoming market, Dodge designed and released the Dodge Femme, a 1955 Custom Royale Lancer that's optioned up with pretty pink or purple colors to show how feminine it is, and gold trim and custom lettering, replacing the standard stuff you get from a Lancer. The Femme also included a whole lineup of accessories, like purses, makeup, and whatever else a girl would need in her Dodge Femme. The entire interior was special. Pink rosebuds, all the accessories, and a brushed medallion that you can put your name on it. Over the course of 1955 to 1957, just 2,500 of these special Femmes were sold, with 3 of them receiving the special Dodge D500 Hemi engine package. Next, we have the original Dodge Magnum. I know why, Magnum's a cool word to say and I love saying it, so Magnum. I'm not talking about the 2005 to 08 Chrysler station wagon, which was sadly killed off alongside the original pathetic Pacifica and the Crossfire. I'm talking about a pure NASCAR machine, a land yacht of biblical proportions. The 1978-1979 Dodge Magnum was an M-body rear-wheel drive coupe with your choice of 318, 360, or 400 cubic inch V8, all coupled to a 727 automatic gearbox. Now, the Magnum was Petty's car of choice for the 1978 NASCAR season, replacing the outdated 74 Charger they used to race. Now, Richard Petty never won in his Magnum, however his kid, Kyle Petty, caught a good set of wins with the Magnums. Now, a total of 75,000 Magnums were produced before it was replaced by the smaller, less cool Dodge Mirada. Actually, let's talk about the Dodge Mirada, because that's a forgotten pile of garbage too. Well, actually, it makes me realize how many Chrysler cars are just forgotten. Not a remember Car Company, are they? Anyway, the Dodge Mirada is a J-body car, which means it shares platforms with the downsized Chrysler Cordoba. I don't like what Chrysler did with my car here. It was produced from 80 to 83, and during then, just 52,000 units were produced. The Mirada was also thrown in a NASCAR, meant to lure away Petty from GM. However, during testing, it ended up being 8 miles an hour slower than GM and Ford. The Mirada was never a racing or a sales success, and it ended up with Dodge leaving NASCAR until 2001. Now, the Mirada was available with the normal Dodge engines at the time, the base model 225/6 or an option 318, and the 360 V8, which sounds good, but the 360 is a rare option because Chrysler refused to put the engine in their cars after 1981. Making it 1-year option only on the Mirada. And the Mirada isn't a bad-looking car. In fact, I'd like to own a Mirada, specifically a 1980 Mirada CMX with a 360. The interior featured brushed aluminum, plenty of leather, and vinyl bucket seats. Now, this was Dodge's sporty-ish personal luxury car, and it failed miserably. It would never reach the sales success of something like a G-body GM Coupe or the Ford Thunderbird. Well, I guess that concludes this absolute bosh on forgotten Dodge cars. Tune in sometime for us to talk about Chrysler, because there's plenty of forgotten cars there too. If you'd like to support the channel, buy me a coffee. Or don't, because I don't drink coffee. There's also the membership there for a whole $1 a month. Trust me, it's worth it. It's got a whole bunch of videos that I plan on uploading soon if they'd let me upload it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Dodge you later, lads. Hopefully you subscribe for more, because this has been Wang Automotive, and I will see you in the next video.